These 6 emails have made over $98,650 in about the last 6 or 7 months, and they will continue to make sales each and every month without having to touch a single thing. And I'm about to show you how you can replicate and, quite frankly, even steal the 6 emails. So here's a little bit of proof. We'll zoom in. So 98,000, just over a touch. This is all from email. For this particular client, I only implemented an autoresponder sequence, which is basically what we're going to cover today. So overview of what we're going to go over, what/why you need an autoresponder. So if you're a little new and you're not sure what an autoresponder is, we're going to touch on that real quick. The 2 key elements that you need for a successful autoresponder or a really successful sequence, period. And if you don't have the second part of this equation, you're really going to struggle to make sales. We're going to do a high-level overview of the sequence, kind of the flow of it, how all the emails work together. And then I'm going to do a quick breakdown of each of these emails. And at the bottom of this video, in the description, you can click the link. It'll take you right to this doc. You don't need to opt in. You don't need to do anything like that. And you can just swipe the templates of these emails if you'd like. Copy and template, use these for your businesses. And then we're going to cover what comes next. So once somebody completes this sequence, where do you send them after that? So first of all, what and why an autoresponder? An autoresponder is just an email sequence that automatically gets sent based on a trigger. So if they're added to a specific list, if they watched a webinar, if they opted in for a VSL, if they abandoned a cart, there's a lot of different sequences, autoresponders, whatever you want to call them, that you can send. And it's basically the easiest way to follow up with your prospects on autopilot. Now, the one we're going to cover today is for a post-webinar sequence. This can be used in a lot of different ways. Some of the language is going to be obviously tailored to a post-webinar experience, but you can also use it after somebody watched a VSL of yours or has really seen any sort of product presentation. So they've already been presented with the offer and they haven't bought yet. So in this case, somebody who watches the webinar, they don't buy the product, they get moved into this sequence, and it allows us to keep selling if we want to provide more social proof, if we want to overcome objections, strategically follow up, however we want to go about it. Now, the 2 key elements that every autoresponder sequence needs, you have the technical elements, number 1. So you need obviously an email service provider like ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Go High Level, whatever you're using. You need a way to track the emails so that you can track the performance, whether that be booked calls, sales, etc. So UTMs, Hyros, or another similar software like that. And then you need a front end trigger, which is they opted in for to get the free gift. They watched a video, they clicked on an email. Again, there's a whole bunch of triggers. If you want to know more about that, go watch my email cash collector video. And I talk in depth about kind of the triggers and tags and how that all works. Now, the second thing you need is more of the marketing elements to it, because no autoresponder will perform at its fullest potential without a killer offer and a reason to buy now. In terms of offer, that could be a whole nother video and crafting the perfect offer. Alex Hormozi's obviously got a great book and talks in depth about that. Let's assume that your offer is legit and it's what your target market wants. The next thing you need is some form of natural or created urgency. So natural urgency is something that's going on in the world that's just naturally happening, and it also creates a sense of urgency for the prospect. So especially if you're in like the financial markets or maybe real estate markets, something to do with the election coming up and things are going to drastically change if Trump or if Kamala gets elected or whoever. Seasonal, so if you're in the weight loss niche, you can use seasonal urgency of like, we're 3 months away from Thanksgiving, we're 3 months away from the new year, we're 2 months away from summer, whatever it may be. The other one, and this is like particularly in like financial markets, would be like, this stock is only good to buy until XYZ event happens. That's going to plummet the stock or, jump prices up or do whatever. And then kind of along the same lines would be like, this new rule in the real estate niche is changing. Now's the time to take advantage before this opportunity closes. And then in rare cases, because this only works if it's super legit, is a very, very little known opportunity that people just haven't figured out yet. So this would be like Airbnb arbitrage years ago before anybody knew what it was. Now, on the flip side, if you don't have anything that fits into this category, that's fine. On the flip side, you can create your own urgency in mainly 2 different ways. So only XYZ spots left. So if you have a coaching program, especially, this works really well. You're only taking on 10 new clients this month or 5 new clients, whatever it may be. The other one would be limited time offers, is kind of just how I summed it up. So that could include, if you sign up within the next 72 hours, you'll get XYZ free bonuses, a 5-day discount, get your first month free, start for $1, payment plans, any sort of limited time offer that has a legitimate reason to end. If you don't attach any sort of like special bonus or special pricing to your offer, and you're just like, you have 3 days left to buy it, like there's no reason for anybody to believe you, because it's just not true. So give your prospects a reason to buy now, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Now, to give you a high-level overview of this sequence, in this particular case, again, this is somebody who has watched the webinar and they've seen the call to action at the end of the webinar. So again, they've been presented with the offer towards the end. They're going to get a super basic 6-email sequence. First email is going to come 2 hours afterwards. So that's to catch the lowest hanging fruit. While their emotions are their highest, the motivation is the highest, the pain has been amplified most recently. I like to send it 2 hours after the offer has been made, because you're also giving people a chance to actually jump on the offer and become customers or not. And then super simple, everything else is just 24 hours after the next one. So all in all, you're looking at roughly like a 6-day sequence. The only adjustments that you could make here, if you wanted to, is if you have a special pricing kind of thing, let's say it's 50% off until day 5. On the final day, I would send multiple emails. I would send 2 or 3 emails on the final day to really push the urgency of like, hey, time is running out. At midnight, XYZ discount or bonuses are going to disappear. And that'll give you a lot more bang for your buck. Now, we'll jump into the actual email breakdowns here. Okay, so we have email number 1 here. On a few of these different emails, there's a couple different subject lines. I tried to write a couple of variations, so if you come in here and your positioning is slightly different, you'll still have a subject line that makes sense. I'm not going to read everything in this, just kind of breaking down the email. So email 1 is basically recapping what they learned on the webinar. So, hey, thanks for taking the time to join blah, blah, blah webinar, watch the VSL, the training, kind of recapping all the benefits they received, what they talked about, and then reintroducing the offer that you made on the webinar at the end of the VSL, whatever. And in this case, it was like a webinar only offer. So we said, hey, we've decided to open up a few more spots. And in this particular case, the urgency was a payment plan that we had set up that was going to last for 5 days, or the first 5 emails essentially. So, and letting them know like, hey, we set up a sweet payment plan. You can use discount, whatever makes sense for your offer there to make joining the program even easier. Again, kind of elevator pitch it here. And then reminding them that this is only for webinar attendees. Now, obviously, if that's not true, if you offer to everyone, I wouldn't say that. But making it feel kind of exclusive, like, hey, because you came and you showed up to the training and you showed me that you're committed, I'm going to make this offer to you. And then a call to action. Now, email number 2, subject line is just what's holding you back. That's what I've always used. And what we're doing here is we're just giving them another reminder. We're recapping the offer, what they get when they join, and then giving them another opportunity to buy. So first things first, we're recognizing like, hey, notice it's kind of a personalized call out. Like, I notice you haven't joined the thing. Recognizing that, hey, like, I know you're interested and I know you recognize the benefit or the potential, or you want this result really bad. I always, as soon as I can in an email where it makes sense, I want to give them a call to action so that it's kind of above the fold, especially if they're on their phone. You don't have a lot of real estate to work with before they have to start scrolling, and they might swipe out before that. So if you haven't had a chance to join yet, you can just join us here. Because again, people get busy, so they might want to join and they just need the reminder and the link, and then an offer recap. So you're doing feature plus benefit here. And then I put so that, which means in parentheses, which is just a way to kind of establish the benefit. So, if you were giving people a personalized diet in the weight loss space, it would be, your own personal weight loss plan so that you can eat in a way that's perfectly designed for your bodies and your goals and all the foods you love. And you're attaching a benefit to it. If you're in the real estate space, it could be you're giving away, the 15 most profitable zip codes in the market today, which means you'll be able to save a lot of time looking for profitable markets to invest in. And so you're attaching a benefit to every single feature basically. And you can even double it up and you can say, so that XYZ, which means blah, blah, blah. And you can really amp up these bullets as well. And then I always loop it in with like, this is everything you need to achieve the desired result. And then kind of recapping the beginning of the emails, like, so I have to ask, like, what's holding you back from pulling the trigger? In this case, for this market, a lot of it is the investment. So I call it out like, hey, if you're worried about the investment, don't worry. Set up a nice little payment plan, blah, 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 and just basically pitching the offer again. Secure your spot and join us inside the program member portal today. And that is email 2. All right. Email number 3 is when, in this case, we start to introduce some of the urgency. So your subject lines might be too late, X spots left, your spot is reserved. Again, this is going to kind of depend on what your offer is and the urgency that you're using. This is a line I always like to use. We've had dozens of students rushing into the private program name portal, membership portal. We've had tons of students, doing their first workouts, like whatever. I feel like it creates this kind of sense of urgency, like everybody else is already getting started, like you're going to be left behind type of thing, and almost like some built-in credibility there. Now, for this client, we're starting to introduce the idea of urgency because it's like, hey, I can only take on a few more clients. If you want one of the last spots, again, trying to include a call to action as soon as possible. Recapping, I basically would just use the exact same features and benefits you wrote in email number 2. Rate spots. At this rate, the spots are filling. I'll be having to close down this program. It's going to be your last opportunity to work with me one-on-one. Even set up a payment plan to help you out. So kind of recapping the urgency, explaining it a little bit, call to action, and then a PS with another call to action. And this is kind of like, I'm not sure when or if or whatever, I'll reopen the program again to try and drill home that sense of it. Okay, now we're on to email number 4. This is where we really start to dig into the urgency. So 48 hours left, X time left, save X%, 48 hours left to join X program. Just a couple different variations there. So this is where we introduce like, hey, in this particular case, it's because of how many people have rushed into the program, we're going to have to shut down our payment plan option because we're taking on too many people. Good news is you still have 48 hours. So now we're starting the official countdown to take advantage of the payment plan. As you know, I designed blank program name to take people from like you to 0 to whatever the result is. Kind of establishing like, I'm going to break everything down step by step, provide personal mentoring, whatever it is for your particular offer that's going to help them go from 0 to where they want to get. Made joining as easy as possible, and then reestablishing like, hey, in 48 hours, in this case, the payment plan is going to be closed. This is your last chance to lock it in. See you on the inside, and then a final call to action with a reminder. All right, email number 5, again, it's going to be very similar to email number 4. So this is a 24-hour reminder, 24-hour left to save X% or money, 24 hours left to join X program. Again, dependent on your particular offer and discount, bonuses, all that stuff. Reminding them there's 24 hours left to secure your spot in blank program using our payment plan option. I like to hyperlink the program. Again, I'm trying to put a call to action in there as soon as possible. And then letting them know like, hey, after the payment plan closes down, you can still join. You'll just have to make the full investment up front. So kind of having that transparency there, but saying, look, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible, which is why we created the plan to begin with. A ton of people have taken us up on it. Again, kind of building in that like sense of everybody has it type of thing. But we got to close it down soon. I just use the same feature and benefits. I kind of keep that the same throughout the entire sequence, just so it's that repetition and people are seeing the same thing, and it kind of drives home the point a little bit more. This is everything you need to achieve blank result. Final reminder, hey, last 24 hours here. Looking forward to working with you. And then a final PS. Now, email number 6. What's interesting here is this actually is one of the better performing emails in the entire sequence. And the whole design of this email, or whole purpose of this email, was to simply follow up post the payment plan expiring to show that that was legit and that they can still join the program, but it's going to cost the full amount up front and they can't use the payment plan. So subject line is, this is your sign. And it's also kind of bugging them like, hey, wanted to check in one last time. You attended the webinar, so I know you want this thing, but wanting it is different than actually achieving it. So you're pushing the buttons here a little bit. So are you sick of just dreaming about the life you want instead of taking steps to create it? Do you want to finally take action on your goals, blah, blah, blah? If so, joining blank is perfect for you. Inside, you'll get instant access to everything you need, again, tying it to their ultimate result. Hey, I'm going to give you everything you need to get this super desired thing of yours. And then another call to action, much softer sell here, because again, we're kind of just establishing that the sale is over, and that builds longer term trust with your list. Because if you say there's only 24 hours left and you're constantly, that's just not true, and people figure out you're lying, you're going to burn a lot of the integrity with your list. Now, once somebody has completed this whole sequence, you kind of have two options with them. You can take them one of two directions. You can move them into a downsell sequence where you try to sell them either a lower ticket offer or a different offer altogether, or even a discounted version of the main offer. So we've done that before with a $2,000 product, and we discounted it to $997 for the people who didn't pick it up. Now, if your main sense of urgency in the first sequence is a discount, offering a further discount is probably not the best idea. So you could offer a different lower ticket product or just a cross sell altogether. Maybe they're just not interested in that. They're looking for something else. So you can do that, or you can dump them into your main list where they'll continue to receive regular emails from you. And that's that. That sequence will continue to work for you 24/7. As soon as somebody comes into your list, watches your webinar, watches your VSL, whatever, it's always making sales for you. The only thing you have to do is look at the stats and optimize it so it's constantly making you more money and doing even better. Like I said, check the description below. You can grab the link for this doc. You don't have to opt in. Don't worry anything about that. You can grab these templates. You can use them as is. You can change them, morph them, do whatever you got to do for your business. Or if you want me to personally implement an autoresponder like this and my email cash collector system as total into your business, just send me an email to zach@zachlohner.com, say the word cash, and then I will get you all the details. And if you want to see more fun email marketing, copywriting, direct response type videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and drop me a comment below.